Hey y'all, this is Eliana with Why Not Redesign. Welcome back to Why Not Redesign on Saturdays or the weekend because sometimes, life. This is the piece that we're going to be working on this weekend. And if you guys remember, you actually saw this piece previewed in my community page and on an earlier video where I asked you what you wanted me to do with this. We'll get into that in a second. But this is the piece, kind of tired, but it's beautiful. It's 75 inches of pure joy. I love this piece. I think it's chic and it has so much potential. So let's get right to it. As always, we're gonna get started with a super deep clean, and this time I found goodies. I don't know if I should call them that, but I know that I never find good stuff in there. Anyway, the socks and the pillows went into the trash. I removed all of the hardware, and as I was doing this, I was really thinking through the style and the design decisions that I was going to take on this piece. It is extremely big. It is 75 inches long or wide, and it's definitely going to be a statement piece wherever it goes. It is, however, a piece that can be so many things. It can be a buffet or a dresser or a TV entertainment unit. It could be so many things. I started by giving it a scuff sanding and a good clean, and even decided to go ahead and remove all of the hardware and plug the holes on everything. I did this on those little bitty cubby drawers with quick wood, which is a two-part epoxy, not epoxy, but it's like a filler wood putty that hardens super good and is very durable. I love using this stuff. I gave it a good clean, like I said, dusted everything, and then started thinking about what to do with this big old boy. I just finished cleaning this guy. The drawers have not been cleaned. It's 6 drawers, so there's 3 behind this and 3 here. I will put the poll results on here so you guys can see what won. I had the poll on both Instagram and on YouTube, and the poll results were the same in both sites, which is extremely weird and unexpected for me. I thought something was going to win and something else did, so I'm kind of regrouping and rethinking what I'm going to do because what won wasn't my first choice. So we'll see. I have plugged all of these because I'm changing the hardware, and I plugged one hole on the 3 drawers that are facing out. The other 3 don't have any hardware. So yeah, that's what it is. What it will be, I am not sure. Initially, I said, you know what, I'm just going to do like a milk paint type finish, and so I decided to put stain on all of the parts that I had previously sanded or scuff sanded. So that was a decision that I made, and then later on I ended up kind of regretting because, of course, I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it now. I didn't go with that design. In fact, I didn't go with any design for a long time. It's been days and days and days and days, and the struggle with this piece continues. I have sanded one of the drawers and tested a color that I'm not 100% on, but at least I'm trying to get an idea. I don't think I like that color, but I'm gonna try something. At the very minimum, I'm going to sand these drawers and these drawers right here bare because I do like that. The struggle has been real with this piece. I had a clear picture that got blurry really quickly. after I did a poll on my community page. It's incredible, but it is what it is. As usual with a lot of my pieces, I have an idea and end up doing something different because, that's how I am. Anyways, I started to sand back the finish on these drawers and quickly realized that it was so hard to do. I was using an 80 grit paper to sand all of this bare and it just wasn't happening. So I finished doing the small drawers because those were fine, but the big drawers needed QCS. Maybe not necessarily QCS, but that is what I'm choosing to do. I am using QCS because it's so much easier to use on these vintage pieces. It's like the stripper is made specifically to work on these old stains. And it's amazing. I layered the spray on there or the liquid on there for about 15 minutes, came back, and 15 minutes later I did another coat, and then it just comes off super easily. I love it. My choice for cleaning the QCS is white lightning, and white lightning is a TSP concentrate that works magically. That is all I can say. It's like magic. I love using it. I use it on every single one of my pieces to clean them because it not only cleans, but it also deglosses pieces. So it's very helpful, especially after stripper. We put this guy on rollers and I gave it a good second not a scuff sanding, but a cleaning because it had been sitting there for almost 2 months. Can you believe that? I went ahead and finished with the drawers. I made sure that I used a very harsh paper on that to remove that remaining stain on it, and then by hand went ahead and finished them by using a 120 and then a 180 grit paper. Came back again to this guy and I decided to try that color that I started with. I was like, I'm gonna give it a chance to work, but I was absolutely unsure about the color that I was seeing. This is milk paint and the color just wasn't right for me on this piece. I decided to then move this piece into my paint booth and I mixed a all-in-one paint called Cactus, and it's a all-in-one in the silk line by Dixie Belle. And you will see that as soon as I started putting that paint color on this, I just knew that was the color. I just knew it was it. Now, I didn't land on this color just by chance. I had help from a friend and she was like, that needs a green and it needs like an olivey green. And so I really appreciate having those friends who you can rely on to go back and say, hey, what do you think on this? And they actually give you honest opinions and they help you. I sprayed that color and like I said, immediately I just knew that this was going to be the one. I had no more doubts about that. Now, spraying looks like it's super fun and super fast, and it is fun, but it's not fast. Here's real-time painting with a spray gun. Up until this point, I was very sure that I was going to be staining all of the drawers. And so I decided to finish sanding these off by hand, which is probably the safest when you are using a very harsh paper like that 60 or 80 grit that I was using before, to remove the stain, I always like to finish by hand, and I use a 120, then 180, and I stop at 180 because you don't want to close the grain of the wood completely so that the stain takes very well. And the stain might raise the grain a little bit more, and at that time, after you've applied at least one or maybe even two coats of the stain, then you can go in between or after with the 220 to smooth out everything. And then once you have allowed the stain to completely dry and you know you're not going to be doing any more layers of stain, then you can do a 320 or a 400 to completely smooth out that piece. That is what I prefer to do. That is how I was told and taught to do this. And it has worked very, very well for me. I know that a lot of people go straight to 220 and then raise the grain and then go back to do whatever they do, another 320 or 400 or 600. But in my case and in my experience, stopping at 180 has been the best, and I have gotten the best results this way. I cleaned the drawers also, and I had them absolutely ready for stain after this. Before I moved the piece out of the spray booth, I went ahead and top coated it. You all know that the all-in-one paint doesn't need it, but I always do it because this is for sale and I don't know where it's going to end up. So literally for added security on my end. But what's best than stripping and sanding all of that stuff off these drawers to then come back and paint them? There's nothing better, is there? I don't know why I do that. But again, this is part of the design, and this piece took me into different alleys and ideas for it. So here we are. I did use a pre-stain on the pieces that I was going to keep wood looking or with stain, and then I stained them. And once again, I am using my Voodoo Gel Stain by Dixie Belle. I'm completely addicted to this type of stain because it's so easy to work with. It dries so quickly. You will see here how beautiful and how it just, depending on the amount of layers that you put on it, gives depth or simplicity or just a little bit of a wash almost. In some cases, if you wanted to keep it that way, you can mix this with water to dilute it a little bit and make it lighter. And then again, you can use additional coats on top of it, of the first coat. You can do 2, 3, 4 coats depending on how deep you want it to look. And it always looks absolutely amazing. It also comes alive, and you'll see that later when you top coat it. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. And speaking of gorgeous, can we talk about this wood? I don't know what it is, and if you guys do, please tell me in the comments what type of wood do you think this dresser was or this piece was, because I am not good with that. Don't know. I also added the top coat on the drawers since I hand painted them. I am using a sponge, and the top coat is a little bit tinted. Those drawers are going to be hidden behind doors, and so I want a little extra. I want my client to open those doors and see a little bit of a surprise. And so I just added a little bit of a transfer, literally a little bit, because this one comes with 4 sheets, but I just used 2 pieces from those 4 sheets, and I think it was exactly what it needed. Nothing extravagant, just a little added touch. Here's when I added the top coat onto that stain. You see how it just came alive. And I went ahead and did 3 coats on that. In the second and third coat, I went over that transfer as well to make sure that it's adhered well and protected. I had covered up the hardware on the doors, and so I went ahead and put gilding wax on it because the hardware that I'm choosing is gold. And if you guys want to take a step back and remember what this piece used to look like, it was tired, but it had so much potential. It was already a gorgeous piece, solid wood. It just needed a change. And you guys chose Farmhouse Chic. And here's my idea of Farmhouse Chic. I love this color on it. Cactus, again by Silk or by Dixie Belle in the Silk line. Beautiful. The gold hardware sets it off and it makes it modern farmhouse chic. But then again, it doesn't have to be farmhouse. This color is gorgeous. It's just the right color for this. The wood accents, I think, make it look even prettier. And having them just in those two spaces is exactly what it needed. The transfer looks good on there. It's not extravagant. It's what it wanted to be, and it will take its place and look up amazing when those doors are open. It just looks so cool. I love it now. Thank you all for helping me with this one. You gave me the idea on what finish I needed. I just really needed to kind of hone down and figure out what it was, and I want to give my friend Clisha a special thanks. Go follow her at Smitty Rose Home on Instagram. She is amazing. And I'm gonna leave you with some steals now. Tell me what you think. Give me a like, a comment, and subscribe, you guys. I really appreciate it. Subscribing is for free, and it helps me to continue going with this little dream of mine, this channel. I really appreciate it, and I will see you again soon on Saturday or next Sunday. Who knows? Bye.